The Baltimore Ravens have a key decision to make in this upcoming week. DeAndre Hopkins kills another narrative about Lamar Jackson. And what's next after the first full week of free agency? We are going to discuss these topics and more coming up now. But first, Ravens fly. Let's fly. So as the time that I was editing this video, news broke that the Baltimore Ravens have re-signed Ben Cleveland, which is an utter surprise to me. It's truly a surprise that Ben Cleveland would want to come back to an organization that kind of put him on the shelf, that I won't want to say did him dirty, but didn't give him a fair opportunity to win the starting guard spot, where I thought that he played well in spots last season and the season before. So that's news. I'll talk about that in another video, but just to let y'all know, I didn't just skip over this and think that it wasn't anything. It's just that while editing the first video, this news broke. All right, back to the action. So it is official. DeAndre Hopkins is now a Baltimore Raven. On Friday, he signed his contract, did a workout, spoke to the media, then had a sit down with the Ravens podcast. If this is not the consummate professional, I do not know what is. So a lot of people aren't happy. A lot of people aren't satisfied with the DeAndre Hopkins signing. But listen, after hearing him speak, after listening to him, and I followed his career, I'm extremely proud to have him be a Raven. Finally, after chasing him for about 4 years, the Ravens finally secured his services. And it is a good thing that they did, because to me, I think that he is going to be the mentor to these young guys that we all thought that OBJ was going to be when he came in. Not saying that Odell is a bad teammate, because I've never heard a bad thing about him, but I do think that DeAndre takes pride in teaching the younger guys some tricks of the trade, giving them the knowledge to help them better off. And we've already had a breakout season from Zay. We've already had an outstanding, fully healthy season from Rashad Bateman. So now you add the knowledge, the film study, and the experience of a 13-year veteran. This offense has nowhere to go but up. And with D-Hop and his almost 1,300 yards receiving in his NFL career, he brings a wealth of knowledge that he can also impart on Lamar Jackson. Not only does he make this receiving room better, he can kind of pick the brain of Lamar, see where he's at, and Lamar can do vice versa, and they can kind of devise some things to get on the same page. Now, I know last season, a lot of people said his numbers weren't really that great, but you have to think he went from Tennessee and that horrible offense with Mayonnaise Boy to Patrick Mahomes, and that Kansas City offense just wasn't having a Kansas City-like year. Offensive line had problems, and then, they said he was injured, and I know that DeAndre said he wasn't. He felt fine, but I do think that that was kind of constricting him to an extent. But even at the age of 32, I still think that he has a lot left in the tank to give this team. I think that he said it best himself. He said, "I've never been a 4-4, 4-3 guy." He's always used his route running. He's used those humongous hands and his knowledge of the game. And DeAndre Hopkins has been one of the best wide receivers of a generation. So I think coming in here, he's going to do a lot of things for this offense. But more importantly, he talked about why he came to Baltimore. And this is the thing that really caught my ear when I was listening, because I was doing a bunch of other things. And then I heard him say, when I realized I wasn't coming back to Kansas City, Baltimore was my first choice. And he said it on multiple occasions. It's because of Lamar Jackson. And it's funny to me that a future Hall of Famer, one of the all-time great receivers, someone with over 10,000 receiving yards, said he particularly came to Baltimore to play with Lamar Jackson. Now, we've heard this before, but they always told us that receivers don't want to come play in Baltimore. Wide receivers aren't coming to Baltimore because of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, being the quarterback, is holding this team back. Nobody wants to play with this guy because he can't throw. Well, I beg to differ. There have been multiple receivers that wanted to come to Baltimore, and maybe it was because of financial constraints. Maybe it has something to do with the head coach and his ramblings.
I'm not going to beg anybody to be here. I'm not a college coach, and I don't have to recruit anybody,
But I think finally, we can put to bed that wide receivers don't want to come play with Lamar Jackson. Because like DeAndre said, this man had 4 interceptions, and those interceptions were pretty much on the receivers, and he's here to help teach them receivers how to do a little bit better. Now, I know a lot of people thought he was throwing shade at the receivers, but no, you got to be honest. You have to be truthful. And to me, that's leadership. To me, that's accountability. To me, that's somebody coming in and saying, listen, you messed up, and I have no problem with telling you that you messed up. Now let's find a way to correct it. I think that's one of the few things that we have not had in Baltimore for a while, is the accountability portion of players. There's always been a lot of coddling of, it happened, we'll be better. No. If I mess up, you tell me I messed up. And then if you have a solution to why I messed up, show me that solution so I can get better. And we all know, just catch the damn ball. That's all you really have to do. But still, just having that leadership portion, that leadership aspect in this locker room is going to do wonders for Zay. It's going to do wonders for Bateman. It's going to help Tez Walker in his progression to becoming a professional wide receiver. And it's going to help Tyler Wallace. Don't want to forget about him as well. But just having that guy in this locker room makes me feel a little more at ease about the rest of these guys that we have. Even though I didn't have any doubts about them, it's just that knowing that they have somebody here that wants them to get better, somebody that wants them to be better. And I know DeAndre wants this to happen because he just lost the Super Bowl. The first time in his career, he made it to the championship game and they lost. I know he's itching to get back, because if it were me, I would do everything in my power. I'd stay up nights. I'd have meetings. I'd come stay at my house. We're going to study film. We're going to get this together because I want that title. I want to win. I've had that taste in my mouth, pause. And now I'm willing to do everything in my power, especially knowing that my career is winding down. So having DeAndre here in this building, having him in this wide receiving core, to me is a big positive. EDC, I tip the cat. I like the move. Before, I was pretty much indifferent to it, but hearing him speak and just knowing that he is that guy and knowing that he wants to leave a legacy behind by teaching other guys. He said he wanted to hang out with them, get to know them better. Like, not a lot of guys say these things. And I know some people just do it behind the scenes. They don't talk about it, but just hearing him say that brings a little bit of comfort and a little bit of ease to my mind. So since we're out here talking about football and free agency, listen, if you are looking for a free agent, I'm one. And if you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, make sure to do. It helps out with the algorithm. It helps push this channel and it helps me grow. And I really do appreciate all that you have done for me. This last week has truly and utterly been really amazing as far as growth for my channel. I appreciate it from the heart, like deep down inside. So for those of you that have not liked and subscribed, make sure you get on it. Like, hit that button. It only just takes that boop. Like, just hit the button. And also hit that notification bell so you are aware when I come out with new videos. It's that simple. But if you also want to further support this channel, you can also become a member, or you can sign up to Patreon, patreon.com/ROUG. You can win one of these rings. Like, it's a lot of stuff that we offer. So make sure you sign up today for as little as $5 to start enjoying the perks of becoming a Rogue member. Now, the one thing that doesn't ease my mind is going to be what the Ravens have to do next. They have to make a decision on what they're going to do with Mark Andrews. Now, I've been hearing rumors lately that there's some teams out there. I think mainly one of them was the Broncos, rumored speculation that they wanted to trade for Mark Andrews. A lot of people are saying, hey, do it, don't do it. Look at what he's done for the organization throughout his career. Yes, he's going to be in the Ring of Honor. Yes, he's going to be known as one of the greatest Ravens of all time. But as of right now, we need money and we need players, especially playoff performers, which Mark Andrews is not. So speculation and rumors, I don't know what the Ravens are going to do, but as of March 20th, the Ravens are going to incur a $4 million hit to the salary cap because that's when Andrews' roster bonus is due. And if they keep him, his cap hit is going to be almost $17 million for the season. If they end up releasing him or trading him or doing something with him, they save $11 million cap savings. And to go with the money that we saved from the Marlon Humphreys contract, that's a steep chunk of change that the Ravens will have to play with to get other players to possibly get better. And the problem is we have his replacement on the roster, so letting him go does not hurt the team. We have the guy that performs in the playoff on the roster. Yes, I love Mark Andrews. I get it. Y'all love him. But this is business. This isn't about sentimentality. This isn't about liking a player. This is about what's going to get Lamar that championship. I don't care about anything else about football other than Lamar Jackson winning the Super Bowl. That is the only thing I care about. And if trade Mark Andrews gets this done, so be it. I could not care less, because I'm seeing everybody on Twitter. I'm seeing people comment nonsense about, yeah, well, I'll only trade him if I can get a first or second round pick for him. Why are some of you people so delusional when it comes to your own players? A first or second round pick for Mark Andrews, a guy in his 30s, in the last year of his contract, who's done absolutely nothing in the playoffs, and you think somebody's giving up a first or a second for this guy? And to me, it's always the people that say, you don't know football. that's always telling somebody else, you ain't a real fan, you don't know football. But they the same people that said years ago, go ahead and get a second round pick for Tyler Huntley. Other people don't know football, but you out here making Madden trades with none of the settings on. Like, come on, make that make sense. But it is possible that the Ravens are going to do something this week. I don't know about the rumor mill. I don't know how true it really is, but something needs to happen. Either say you're going to keep the guy or trade him away. Maybe they're in secret talks because the Ravens are always going to be tight-lipped when it comes to moves because they feel like somebody's going to usurp them and undercut whatever it is that they're doing. But they're probably not. So to me, trade the guy, save the money, get some pieces, or package him up to move up in the draft. Get yourself in better position to get the players that we need, the players that you want, instead of waiting for guys to fall to us, just like we do every year in the draft, just like we do every year in free agency. Stop waiting. Go get that person that you want. And speaking of getting that person that you want, let's talk about what are the Ravens going to do next. After this first week of free agency, all the big money deals are done. There's still a couple of top 100 free agents that are still available, but two to me in the last day just got signed by teams. Mekhi Becton, he signed with the Los Angeles Chargers, and Dante Fowler signed with the Cowboys. So that takes two guys that I thought the Ravens could have utilized off the board. So what does that mean for free agency? What does that mean for the draft? Since we already have Ronnie Stanley re-signed, we brought back Ricard, and we signed DeAndre Hopkins, that takes a couple of needs and knocks it down a few pegs. So where did the Ravens go in the draft? Where did they go in the first 3 rounds of this draft? Is edge the biggest concern? Is cornerback the biggest concern? Or is it the offensive line? And to me, I do think that the Ravens need to go offensive guard with the first pick in this draft. Second pick, now that we signed Ronnie, I was thinking a tackle, but now that we re-signed Ronnie, I may think to go elsewhere. And it's not best player available because that's not really what the Ravens do with their drafts. They draft players that they like. It's never the best talent that's available at that time. So second round, I really don't know. And it also depends on the second week of free agency, what the Ravens are going to do. Because like I said, there are still a couple of guys out there. And for a lot of you guys that are into nostalgia, there are 3 former Ravens that are still out there looking for a job. Calais Campbell, if he decides to come back for another season at 38 years old, the Ravens could sign him to take the retired Michael Pierce's place. Also, you have Matt Judon. There could be a return with him, and also Baltimore's least liked son in Zadarius Smith. So those are 3 players that fill a position kind of need, and we know these people, so the Ravens could actually get them, and they would get them on a cheaper contract. They wouldn't break the bank to bring them back. So I know a lot of Ravens fans would be happy with signing most of them. Maybe not Smith because he burned us the last time, but these are some options. And to me, when it comes to the draft, especially if we get one of these players or a couple of these players, we can wait on the edge rusher. We could possibly wait on the cornerback, to be totally honest with you. I know everybody wants the first or second round corner, but we did that last year. We can't keep going in the draft taking first round corners each and every year. Secondary has enough first round draft picks in it. Move elsewhere. And more importantly, when it comes to the Ravens, to me, they draft defense better in later rounds than they do in the earlier rounds. Because if you look at the history, if you go back and see, the Ravens have drafted players like Matt Judon, like Zadarius Smith, like Chuck Clark, like Zach Seiler. Even though he balled out for the Dolphins, he really didn't do anything for the Ravens, but still, late round pick that balled out and got a huge contract. And then you have Geno Stone. Now, the Ravens can find defensive gems more often than they can find the offensive ones. But wait a minute, hold up. Well, that was Ozzie, so I take that back. EDC in the later rounds with defense, outside of Geno, yeah, he's not hitting. But guess what? Ozzie's still in the building. So he's back there somewhere. Go find Ozzie and get these later round gems. Finally fortify this offense and get enough pieces for Lamar Jackson so him and DeAndre and Derrick Henry can win this chip. And the city of Baltimore, but more importantly, just Lamar Jackson, because that's all I'm really about. I love this team, and I'm definitely a Lamar Jackson fan, but I need for Lamar to get a title. I need for him to win a title. This is bigger than football. And this opens up a myriad of opportunities for younger kids to go out there and be what they want to be. Even when people tell them they shouldn't do this, they should take another route, another path, they can look at Lamar and say, you know what? He bucked the narratives. He did not listen to the naysayers. He did his own thing and became one of the most successful guys in NFL history. So this is why I need for Lamar to succeed. This is why I need for Lamar to kill that one last narrative that they have about him, and that is winning that championship.